Okay, we'll start off, we'll call this the Sunrise Edition. It is, about 6:25 on the 7th. Today is Wednesday. It's my first day off. I'm just getting home now. So, worked a 12-hour shift last night. It looks like it might have rained here. All my tracks are washed out again, except for the one I just made coming in. Since I park in the same spot, there should be several tracks there. Let's check our rain gauge. Yep, it's wet. Didn't rain very much though. Oops, there we go. Not even enough to cover the bottom. But looks like the wind blew because my shower mat is moved. I got a rock on that to keep it down. So yeah, I'm tired. Sometimes there's water in the back of the truck too. Yeah, that's wet. So it did rain. Probably got some water inside the bus then. Trusty steed. This is better without the generator going. Oh man, I am tired. So, okay, let's get the tripod and we'll debrief here. Okay, so this is me getting home, looking like I just worked a 12-hour shift and rode a motorcycle 2 hours through the desert. So, reflective vest. Very fashionable. Camelback water hydration system. I think it holds about 3 liters. With this, I can drink with the helmet on, still moving, which is very handy. So, that comes off. Sometimes easier than others. Oh. Lunch bag. I bought this on Amazon. I typed in tactical lunch bag and I'm very happy with it. It's got the military style loops you can hook carabiners to and stuff. I used to hang my keys on there all the time. So that's got enough room inside for 2 Gatorade bottles and sandwiches and trail mix and aspirin or something like that. Okay, so this is the Camelback. This is military surplus. The guys in Iraq were wearing this type of thing. It's insulated and the tube is also insulated. So typically when I'm drinking, the first swallow or so is kind of warm because like yesterday it was 100 degrees. But then you get a fairly nice shot of cold water. It's not too bad. And it's got a protective cap on there, and it's also got here on the side, right there, that's a shut-off valve. So if you think it's going to leak, you can shut it off. And a couple straps. Now the story on that, I bought 4 of them to take on the Alaska trip. And in the flurry of packing to get out of the old apartment, this was when I lived up in Edmonton, that got stuck in a box that, you know, I was just grabbing stuff and throwing it in boxes, typical, you know, how I pack. And, you know, you start off with a plan and then after that it kind of goes bad. So it all got jammed together, threw in a box, could not find them. And so I really needed that on the Alaska trip. That was, you know, that was one of the glaring omissions from that trip. That it was just, you know, a giant pain in the butt to be able to, you know, every time I stopped, I tried to drink some water, but you know, you had the helmet on, the gloves on. I had one hockey water bottle that had a tube that I could kind of get in there, but I still had to stop to do it. And the Camelback was exactly for something like that, that you just put it on your back and you forget it's there until you need a drink, and you pull the tube and stick it in. And I can drink at 80 miles an hour, no problem. You know, it's just once you get it in there, it's a little bit fussy getting it in to where you can bite on it. Then you can let go of it and ride with both hands, and you're good to go. So, reflective vest. This is the motorcycle jacket that I had on the Alaska trip, and also the pants. I don't want to be far enough away to get the full shot, but full-length pants, obviously. The jacket and the pants, same company, they basically match. There is pockets everywhere. I feel like I could be selling something on the street corner. It's like, hey, do you want something? You know, whatever. So I got two inside pockets there, a bigger inside pocket here for your wallet. Inside the zipper, actually on the outside of the zipper, this opens up. I carry a flashlight in here. I can also put my cell phone in there. At the moment I've got earbuds, but I haven't been listening to that lately. On the outside, there's a pocket here. Lower, you can't really see it from there. There's a bunch of pockets everywhere. But my favorite pocket lately, just on the left side, there's this pocket right where your watch would be. And so when I'm going to work, I put my ID badge in there, and it's got a magnetic key card. Okay, this opens the gate into our controlled parking, and also opens the door if I need to get access to a door, like to get into work. Use that. So when I'm riding and I get up to the gate, there's a little keypad that you touch the thing to. I can have this in the pocket, zip shut. I can actually get close enough that I don't even have to let go of the handlebars. I just kind of lean, I stop, I lean the bike just enough for this to touch the pad. It reads it, boop, the gate opens, off I go. It'll look like it's like magic. So that's that. The pants are kind of cool because they got a zipper that goes almost from the hip all the way to the bottom, so you can take the pants off without taking your boots off. And then I wear my regular jeans or work pants underneath. The pants and the jacket both have armor in them, like the elbow. That's got a hard pad. There's shoulder pads. There's a back pad. The knees have padding. The hips have padding. All along the waist there's padding. So if you do go down, it gives you a little bit of protection. You're still gonna hurt. It's really gonna hurt, but it's better than nothing. And in theory, it's ballistic nylon. The contact patches are very thick, and then the rest of the jacket is thinner. It's very comfortable to wear. It's got way more flex than most leather jackets. It's also machine washable, which was good because the Alaska trip, this jacket just got completely filthy, and I was able to wash it and it came out pretty nice. It's also got ventilation from here to here. You can unzip that and the air will blow through and then come out the back, and there's also zippers all the way across the back of the shoulders that you can open up. This is Tourmaster is the company. There we go. And I think this is the Transitions jacket. Oh, it's also got, this is kind of clever, it's got a winter liner that you can put in. It zips in, and all of the pockets are duplicated in the liner. So if you are used to using your cell phone inside or something like that, when you put the winter liner in, all the same pockets are there, and the winter liner comes all the way down into the sleeve and attaches so that it doesn't get pulled out. So you got a winter jacket and a summer jacket. The Alaska trip, I had the liner in, and I wore also usually a sweatshirt and sometimes a fleece, because I actually got snowed into a campsite So it was at freezing, and the snow didn't melt, it stayed. So I had to wait for the weather to clear, and then I rode out. The highway was bare, they had cleared it, but the snow stayed in the campground, and it was totally fine. Also, later the next year, I guess it was, the bike quit running going over Snoqualmie Pass, and so I called AAA and got a tow. It's pretty rare for that to happen on that bike. I very seldom have problems with it, but that one day ran out of luck. And it was snowing then, and I just had the bike parked as far on the side of the road as I could, left the signal light on so it would be visible. And again, wearing all the same gear, I just crawled up the snowbank and plunked down in the snow and sat there for probably an hour waiting for the tow truck, and I was totally fine. I could have slept out there and been perfectly happy to stay out there. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. Motorcycle today just went over 9,000 miles. I am putting on just short of 200 miles a day. That's 1,000 miles a week. It'll be about 4,000 miles a month. So that, I'm having a hard time getting my head around that, because I'm putting in a tank of gas every day. I buy gas after work, and then I ride home, and then the next shift I ride to work and I put gas in again. Tonight, I used to always track my mileage and write it down, but you're doing so many miles it's not even worth writing them down anymore. But put in like 4.666 gallons. Gas was 2 something and 209, I think, and it cost me just less than $10, so $9.80 or something like that. So that's every day. But it's like, okay, I've already got the motorcycle, it's paid for, the truck is paid for. The truck was costing me almost $25 a day for gas, and I don't want to put that kind of miles on the truck if I can help it. The truck cost me $10,000 plus $3,000 for a transmission rebuild. The motorcycle cost me $4,500 altogether. So only 2 tires instead of 4. The motorcycle tires are kind of expensive, so I think they were $150 a piece, so $300 for a set of tires. The plan, I'm looking at getting a little 4x4 car, just for the fact that I can sit in a car and still get decent mileage. Looking at Subarus because they have a good 4-wheel drive car, and I'll probably give it a lift kit and some taller tires because the road is just messed up right now. And it's been over a week and I haven't seen any sign of anybody fixing the road, so I kind of wonder if they're going to fix it or if they just figure, okay, it's going to rain again, don't bother, and then fix it later, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, so that's about it for that. Today being my day off, a little bit annoyed that I had to work 4 hours of overtime, but that'll be the last time that happens. What they had was when you first start, they ask you if you want overtime, and since I was really broke from the move, I thought, yeah, this overtime would be good, and they had said 2 hours or 4 hours, and I'm like, well, shoot, if you're gonna drive to work anyway, 4 hours seems great. Well, I didn't really anticipate how tired I would be. Let me not look at the sun so much. Maybe that'll be better. Actually, one more thing. Let's put some of the stuff in the bus. I'll be right back. Anyways, let's sit down for a minute. Sit a spell. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Alright, that's not too bad. So, let's see. Volunteered for overtime, but I didn't really anticipate how tired I would be. Between the 2 hours or so of driving to work, plus the 2 hours driving home from work, plus living in the bus, everything is just a little bit harder out here. So it's always been, when I was in Austin working for the post office, we worked 2 hours of overtime 4 days of the week. Friday we had a short day. It was, an 8-hour day. It feels like half a day after working 10-hour days. But it was a completely different environment for work. You were kind of self-paced. You'd get a truck to work on. You'd inspect it. You'd order the parts. You'd do the paperwork. You'd fix the truck. You'd do more paperwork. And it was, there was some concern about how fast you got the truck done, but it wasn't like, go, go, go kind of thing. It was, nobody was waiting for you to be getting the truck done. When the truck came in, it was either scheduled inspection and maintenance, or it broke down, and we had enough spares in the system that they would rotate a truck out and we could work on it, and then when it was done we'd send it back. It generally wasn't, high pressure work. Well, here, working in it's a processing and distribution center is where I work. And everything is fairly, it's a grinder job, it really is. You just grind it out. It's, you move big pallet loads of mail around, or carts full of mail, and it'll be put on a conveyor belt and you got to catch it as it comes off kind of thing. And it's just, 8 hours is, they give you a break every couple hours for 15 minutes and you get a half hour for lunch, and it's very regimented union kind of a job. And they have a pretty good idea how much you can move in a day, and you're expected to move it. And there's, like when we were doing paperwork on the trucks, when I was as a mechanic, you'd sit down and fill out your paperwork, and then you'd go sit at a computer and you'd order your parts. And and there was times where, you would test drive, so you would be sitting down driving the truck around, and then you'd do part of the inspection was inside, just checking out the cab and making sure all the instruments worked, and so you'd have some sitting down time. And this job, and then in addition to the fact that you're standing all day, you're also pushing things, and so you're pushing maybe a 2,000-pound pallet around, and it just wears you out. And so the way that it's structured is you'd volunteer for overtime. That was a one-time thing. Once you'd volunteered, then within the the manager could decide, they maybe don't know they need you until the next shift comes in. And there's a lot of staggered starts, and so different departments have different start times based on, the truck gets there with mail, and so the person that touches the mail first doesn't have to be there until the truck gets there. And so their shift might be an 8-hour shift that starts at 4 in the afternoon, kind of like mine does. So I start at 4 in the afternoon, and I normally get off at 12:30, midnight. Yeah, for half an hour lunch. So that's the extra half an hour. But you may be thinking, okay, it's 12 o'clock, it's midnight, it's almost time to go home. You're starting to see the light. It's time to start wrapping it up. And then the rule is for our union, or the union that how does that work? There's different unions within the building, and so the union that covers my job, the contract that was signed for that by the union for that job, the manager can come up to you as long as it's not within half an hour of when you go home,
and say, we need you to stay for another 2 hours. Okay. And, you know, the rule is if they don't talk to you until within they have to talk to you more than half an hour before the end of your shift. So if it's 25 minutes before the end of your shift, you're home free. You can go home, kind of thing. Apparently, one of the other unions, the manager can be waiting at the time clock and tell you, no, you have to work some more. You know, so that sounds kind of messed up too. But you know, you think you're going home at a certain time, and then all of a sudden you find out, oh no, you got another 2 hours or another 4 hours. You know, and that was what it was tonight. Is the next shift was shorthanded, and so they had a bunch of us stay. And you know, it's like, okay, fine. You know, but the way it worked out tonight, the job I was doing, what was really annoying about it was, I think in 12 hours, I probably did 4 hours worth of work. And, you know, so I would push a cart. We had a machine that dumps the cart onto the conveyor belt, and then another group of people processes it, you know, so they do their thing. Well, their job is really slow. I can dump, you know, what would be pretty much a pickup load worth of mail in one shot. You just hit a button, the hydraulics kick on, and this whole thing dumps it on the conveyor belt. And then you move, you know, you drop it back down, you grab your cart, you put it somewhere, and then you grab another cart and you put it on it. So you could do that pretty quickly. Well, there are six guys that are processing, and I don't think they have any sense of hurry at all. And so you sit there for, it seems like quite a while, and then you wait, and then you dump the next one on, and we can get ahead of them pretty quick. And so there's somebody on the other side that actually makes sure it stays on the belt, and there's things that are too big or too long or too heavy, so they pull them off, and we do some of that ahead of time. And so there's 2 or 3 of you waiting, and then, you know, you get one empty, and so you push the next one on, and then you wait, and push the next one on, and then you wait, and it's, you know, it makes the time even go slower. And then the fact that it was a 12-hour shift, you're like, geez, you know, this could have been a 4-hour shift to do the amount of work that I actually did. And then you're like, you know, it makes it even more annoying because, you know, and then, you know, the machine broke 2 or 3 times, and they had to get a technician out there to fix it, and you're like, you know, I could have totally gone home and, you know, let somebody else deal with it, but anyway. So, yeah, kind of a tipping point tonight. I officially requested to be taken off the overtime list, and, you know, the manager is always sad about that, but that's the rule. You know, you decide you just don't want it. Now, that means I basically can't have it anymore. But, you know, the amount of money I make now is so much less than what I made when I was in Austin. It's not even funny because, yeah, I mean, the pay scales are different. So I went from a level 8 to a level 4. Well, level 8, my base pay was like $42,000, and the job I'm doing now is like $35,000 base pay per year. Well, I was also getting 2 hours of overtime every day in Austin. Here I'm getting 2 hours a week or so. Plus in Austin I was getting higher level pay, so there was 16 hours out of my 48 that were paid at about $54,000 a year base pay. Yeah, so that's a good jump. So with the overtime, last year and the year before for taxes, I made just almost $60,000 a year. And, you know, this year I'm probably going to be close to $40,000, so I'm going to lose about between $10,000 and $20,000 this year. You know. Plus, I'm burning $10 to $25 worth of gas a day, and I used to burn that a month in Austin. But I'm not paying rent. you know, and I'm still paying the land payment. So the idea was, what I was hoping was going to happen was that I would not pay rent. I'd take some of that money, put into the land payment, and I'd get paid off in about 5 to 10 years. Well, with the pay cut, that's not likely to happen as well as I had hoped. The theory is still there, but the numbers are completely wrong now. So I'm just watching. There's a bunch of ants all over the ground. So since it rained last night, they're all scurrying around. So I don't know if they're looking for water or if they're trying to get away from water. But I noticed that last time it rained, there was a lot of ant activity. Okay, it's half an hour. It's about almost 7 o'clock now. This clip is just about over, so I'm going to get out of my pants. Get out of the motorcycle pants. Get my boots off. Probably take my other pants off. Think about it for a bit and go to bed. Oh, in the last minute while I'm thinking of it. Yesterday I showed adjusting the chain. Tonight at Walmart on the way home, I bought a new tail light. I got one of the LED lights. It just goes right in, which is kind of cool. It works, tail light and brake light, and they seem to be brighter than they were before, so I like that. Also, I bought some bicycle chain lube. It's a silicone base, and I'm like, well, the chain was getting pretty messed up and noisy, so bicycle or no, it's probably better than nothing. So I lubed the chain. Oh, and I bought some Gatorade and I drank it, and I bought a couple bananas and I ate one of them and left it in the shopping cart when I left. So I got one banana in my lunch bag and ate the other one. So that was good actually. Eat a banana before you ride home. That seemed like a good idea. So 10 seconds left. Okay. I think that's about it. More later.